We know that the Remainer establishment hates Brexit. We know that the Remainer establishment would really love to keep us in the customs union. That would be a breach of the Conservative Party manifesto. It will be a clear breach of the numerous occasions. I think 23 times now the Prime Minister stood up in the House of Commons and said, we're not giving in a customs union. We know they would love us just to slither on and to end up in some form of customs union. That won't cut with the 17.4 million. They voted to leave. And that was interpreted, our manifesto, to leave the single market, leave the customs union, leave the remit of the European Court of Justice. And if we stick to our guns and hold our nerve, the EU will start talking over the next few days, and we'll get the bones of a free trade agreement agreed. Obviously, it's far too late now to get every detail, but that's enough to trigger the GATT 24 clause, and that means we can carry on with zero tariffs, which is what's spooking everyone. 8% of businesses sell to the EU. That's about 12 to 13% of our GDP. So why on earth are these businesses going to relocate and disappear when they've invested here? We've got incredibly good labour relations. We've got incredibly hard-working, skilled workforces. We've got a competitive currency. We've got one of the most respected legal systems in the world. I mean, I think people just laugh at these pathetic project fears that came up. I mean, week after week we get this nonsense. I mean, last week we had some utter nonsense that people are going to die from lack of fruit. Well, bizarrely, one of the few things we could immediately do if we got control on the 29th is go to zero tariffs on all citrus fruits, which are full of vitamin C, because we don't produce oranges and lemons, but we're stuck behind the customs wall at the moment of the customs union. I find it completely bizarre that Labour wants to keep us in the customs union. That keeps up the price of food for some of our most disadvantaged citizens. We'd have a whole world to buy fruit from at zero tariffs. I was absolutely delighted yesterday. I was travelling yesterday, but I heard that the parliamentary recess has been cancelled, which I think is excellent. We should be cracking on with the secondary legislation. For your listeners, these are called these are small committees where about 17, 18 MPs sit down and go through some of the nitty-gritty detail. I mean, I did one last week. The minister stood up. She read out a prepared speech. It was not very contentious. The Labour shadow minister asked a few very sensible questions, and the whole thing was over in a short time. Parliament should be sitting. We should be in there 9 o'clock every morning. We should be going home at midnight, and we should be cracking on with these statutory instruments and get on with them, get them done. And if there's necessary legislation to get through, should there be an agreement when the Prime Minister come back, we've got time to get that through. I mean, MPs are there to pass laws. This is a great moment in our national history, and we should use every minute of parliamentary time and make extra time if necessary to get this legislation through. So we do leave on the 29th.